In this travel documentary, I'm going to be documenting my time in Patagonia, backpacking and hiking across this beautiful landscape. I am completely and utterly blown away. Patagonia is a huge region located in the southern end of South America, spanning both parts of Chile and Argentina, and it's known for its stunning landscapes, its mountains, and its impressive glaciers. It's truly next level. I will start by exploring the Argentinian side. We will visit the national parks in El Calafate, and then we'll travel up to El Chalten and hike up the famous peaks and lakes of Mount Fitz Roy. There is going to be lots of practical information throughout to help you plan your trip, and you'll see all of the good and all of the bad and all of the downright ugly to the side of this destination. The mountain Fitz Roy is incredible, but I've never hiked with this many people before. I make quite a lot of mistakes traveling Patagonia, and I'll share them so that you can learn from them. And if you, like me, want to experience Patagonia, well, now's your perfect chance. This video is also sponsored by Squarespace, but more about them later.
Please turn off all electronic devices. Once airborne, the captain will let you know when you can use approved electronic devices. Please review the in-flight magazine for a list of approved devices.
Tripulación de cabina, por supuesto, para el aterrizaje. Gracias.
So, a big part of this Patagonia series is I'm going to be showing you the logistics of how to get around and how I navigate Patagonia, because one of the problems I encountered planning this trip was that it was really hard to plan. There was not many vlogs that were very useful. There wasn't very many clear guides I could find. It was all a little bit, how do you travel Patagonia? I don't really know. Let's just go and find out. So I'm going to be sharing with you all of the little things that I learned along the way. So the first thing is I've just landed here in El Calafate, and amazing. The second you get down the stairs from the gate, there's a little stand where you can get a private taxi, or like me, you can pay $4 and jump in a van that arrives in 10 minutes. Really simple. Good job, Patagonia. Great start. Hola. Gracias. Chico. The ride-in was gorgeous, took about half an hour, and we were treated to a stunning sunset as we rode into town. Okay, I'm here, checked in, and I was worried about how to get currency. They actually buy US dollars here at the hotel. $144 for 2 nights. A little bit pricey for what it is, because it's just basically a little room. It'll do. Now let's go into town and get some food and see what we can get from the atmosphere here in El Calafate. Argentina are playing Brazil, so I got distracted. So I bumped into a couple of backpackers who said that all of the tour guides, all of the shops that sell trips to the glacier in this town close at 8, and it's like 9 o'clock. But I found a place, this place right here, and they were open, and there's 2 girls working in there, and I told them that I don't know what I'm doing, and if they could help me go to the glacier, and I just paid 45 US dollars, or 42,000 pesos to get picked up tomorrow, and I'll be going on like a tour basically, and it includes a boat trip and it includes a hike. So far very easy, very straightforward, and quite touristy. So yeah, a little bit different to maybe what I thought Patagonia would be. So the following day, it was time for a visit to the nearby national park and the famous Moreno Glacier. Now the bus ride was really long, to be fair. I wasn't expecting it to take as long as it did, but it was over an hour and a half. Patagonia is really big, and one thing that happened throughout my travels in this region was, each trip, each bus ride took a lot longer than I envisioned. There's nothing wrong with this, of course. Just prepare yourself with snacks and drinks for these long journeys in the region of Patagonia, because they always, including this one, just seem to go on forever. And eventually we got to the entrance of the national park, and the Moreno Glacier was revealed in the distance. And wow, I mean, what an incredible thing to see. Wow.
Las barandas de la cubierta exterior. Si alguien necesita hacer una consulta, está por aquí o ya está habilitada la.
So this glacier, which is part of the Patagonian ice field, is the third largest reserve of fresh water in the world and is 30 kilometers in length. The glacier was formed by an accumulation of snowfall over hundreds of thousands of years compacting into this ice formation we see today.
To be fair, it is absolutely stunning out here. Truly incredible. And I had a really good spot actually for a long time. But then you feel bad because other people are like, oh, I want to take a picture. So I've moved out the way now. And obviously going this direction, the best view's on the left. But soon we'll turn around. Right now I'm just looking out to a beautiful lake, but in a minute I'll have the prime spot.
Unlike many other glaciers which retreat mostly due to climate change, the Moreno Glacier is one of the few glaciers that is actually still advancing. It's constantly moving forward, pushing into the lake and causing large ice breaks to carve off and splash into the water.
Okay, the boat ride is over. That was fun. We didn't get to see any epic carving moments where the big ice would fall in and the big splash would happen, but I did hear a lot of cracking and creaking, which was really awesome. And it was nice to see the scale of the ice. Now, however, we're gonna go and do a little hike and get a better perspective, a higher, grander perspective of the glacier. Let's go. Chicken sandwich. It's all right. A quick message from the sponsor of my channel, Squarespace, the best place to build a website. Now, whether you are looking to build a brand new site or refresh your current online presence, Squarespace has you covered. Their brand new design intelligence feature uses AI and it will create a site tailored to your needs so that you'll be up and running in no time. And if you're on the move, Squarespace has an incredible app so you can definitely update your site on the go anytime inspiration strikes. I built my very own website on Squarespace. I just chose one of their award-winning templates and then I added in all of the things that I need. So not only do I promote my YouTube channel, but I also sell lots of products and services on my website to my subscribers and potential customers who find me through my content. The best thing is it's completely free to build your website, but when you're ready to go live, head to squarespace.com/Paddy Doyle and you'll get 10% off your first website or domain. Okie dokie, so welcome to the start of the trail. There's a map and you can do 3 different trails, yellow, red or blue, and we've been given 3 hours on this tour to just hang out now after that boat ride. And look, this first little gazebo here, there's nobody around because everyone's rushing down. But I think you could argue that this just this view, I mean, I don't know, I've only been here 2 minutes. So what we're looking at, it's 4 kilometers across. It's 30 kilometers long. And it's 70 meters tall. And it's moving this way, ever so slightly, obviously. I mean, have you ever seen anything like that? It's truly next level. I'm really hoping that we'll see some carving, but we really have to be at the right time at the right place. But it just loops and snakes up the valley and over the mountains. It goes up to the mountains and goes over the mountains. Massive. There's this gorgeous plant that's growing all around here. It's actually called the fire bush. I only know that because our tour guide on the bus told us. So these fiery red flowers bloom at this time of year. Right now it's just about to hit December. And the contrast of the fiery red, gorgeous flowers. Oh, I can hear the cracking. Whoa, I can't wait to get closer and hopefully capture that on camera. Yeah, the contrast of the red against the bright electric blue glacier is absolutely gorgeous. Stunning. This is incredible. This is... I mean, have you ever seen anything like this? It keeps on cracking. And it keeps on thumping. Very frustrating. I keep missing the carving events for you. You know, you just stand here and then you look and you see a huge crack in the ice and a massive chunk of it falls into the water, and then there's a huge crack and thunder. And then there's a huge splash and then a big wave. The people on the boat, they just got like the most incredible view of a huge carving event. But I didn't capture it for you, I'm sorry. I keep filming it at different angles and at different aspect ratios, trying to show you the scale of it, trying to show you like the humans, you know, still really far away from it, but you can see how tiny the people are further down, and yet how massive the wall of ice is here at the front of the glacier. I'm just hoping that at some point whilst I'm filming or talking to you, something epic happens. You can see so many cracks in the ice.
So the following morning it was time to leave El Calafate and take a bus north towards El Chalten, home of Mount Fitz Roy and many of Patagonia's most popular hiking trails. The bus cost about $10 and took just over 3 hours, and as you can see, the views along the way were absolutely stunning. Once I arrived, I checked into my hotel and I found a yummy restaurant and had this delicious steak with a glass of red wine, all for under $20. Incredible food and incredible value. However, travel tip for you, I'm not talking about good value when it comes to accommodation. I had a nightmare trying to find a place to stay, guys. Make sure, listen carefully, make sure you book ahead of time. I went on a ramble for about 10 minutes here in the room on camera, but in summary, book your accommodation in El Chalten weeks, if not months ahead of time. Last minute bookings that I was scrambling for were just insane. We're talking $800 to $1,000 a night. I was so lucky to find one for $150 for a basic room, and all of this could have been avoided if I had planned ahead and booked ahead, but you know, sometimes that doesn't happen. And yeah, so just be careful. This town is full, absolutely packed. Unless you're a millionaire, you'll be fine. But honestly, crazy prices.
Okay, good morning and welcome to the start of the trail. It is a gorgeous day. It is beautiful, it is still, but I don't expect it to stay that way. Obviously this is the mountains, but fingers crossed, we have incredible weather. And they have a really useful map here. So we can see the elevation profile, and just as I had heard, it's about 3 kilometers of a climb, and then it's quite flat for about 6 kilometers, which is really good, really good. And then there's a steep 3 kilometer finish, and it's just under 11 kilometers one way to get to where I'm aiming to get to, which is Laguna de los Tres, which is those beautiful lakes with the epic views of the top of the mountain, Fitz Roy. It's a 20 kilometer round trip. It takes about 8 hours, so 4 up, 4 down. A lot of people set off early. The car park is full, and I'm sure the trail will be busy. But I just wanted to relax and enjoy my breakfast and not rush, because this is a 20 kilometer hike. We'll take it easy, we'll take it slow. Obviously, I've packed my bag. Here's a little clip of what I packed this morning. Okay, I got this wind jacket, which I got from Antarctica, in case it gets super windy, which I've heard it will. Got a rain jacket in case it rains, which I hope it won't. A couple of spare batteries, sun cream, some throat lozenges, lots of water. I'll probably get some more. Some bananas, some emergency chocolate, and some cereal bars, some sunglasses, my camera, some shorts. Actually, I was thinking about if I get hot, I might just go down to shorts. We'll see. Some gloves and a hat in case it gets cold and the weather changes, and a sun hat, and my backpack. So this is everything that I'm taking. So should be good. So far so good. About 1 kilometer in, and there's this little viewpoint here looking down at this valley below. In the rainy season it's probably so much wider, and once upon a time this river, you know, created this valley, which is incredible to think about. Gorgeous views, nice little spot to rest and have a drink. Well, we've got a long way to go, my friends, so let's get cracking. Okay, I didn't even last 2 kilometers before I've taken my trousers off. As good as my hiking trousers are, they're really good at protecting against the wind and the elements, but they're not so good at letting air flow into them. And I was just sweating. I'm literally sweating like a dog. I've checked the weather. It's only 14 degrees Celsius, but it feels like 30. It feels like 35 because there's no breeze. The sun is brutal. The sun is just so blasting. There's our first view of Mount Fitz Roy. Okay, good news. We've made it past the 3 kilometer mark. They have little markings every kilometer or so. So we now are on hopefully a flatter area. Hopefully it stays like this in the shade. And there's a little hint of a breeze every now and then. I also saw the sign where we could have made that decision left or right. I've come right just because if we remember back at the map, it said viewpoint. Might be a nice spot to take a picture. And feeling good. 1 hour and 5 minutes into the hike. So, feeling fabulous, darling. Okay, good choice. Good choice coming to the viewpoint, Paddy. Check this out. You can see we're probably going to go flat along this valley and then make our way up the last part. Gorgeous. Looks like you can take some nice pictures up here. But we're going to get cracking. Take a quick picture, obviously, quick selfie, and then let's crack on. It's running straight off those glaciers. Tell you what, that is incredible. That is fresh. There is no other way to refill your bottles. There was a water tap at the start of the trail, but it wasn't working. I mean, I'll let you know if there's any water filling stations along the way, but I think we'll just have to settle with pristine glacial Patagonian water instead, which I'm sure is 10 times better for you. We really have hit the jackpot with the weather today. I read online that you can get absolutely blasted by the wind, and yet there's just a little breeze, bird song, and the sound of the rivers babbling. It really is just incredible. As I sit here under the shade and enjoy my little lunch and chocolate tracker bars in the shade, it's a good point to tell you that if you're familiar with the brand Patagonia, obviously we're in Patagonia, but the clothing brand that sells hiking equipment all around the world, they base their logo on this mountain and this silhouette. And seeing it in the flesh, you can see why they chose this. It really is absolutely gorgeous. And I think, just looking ahead, I can see a path, and then I can see a lot of switchbacks going up a steep part of the mountain. I think that is the final climb that we'll be doing soon to get up and over to the lakes, which must be where the glaciers meet, over there somewhere, because that must be where we're going. So yeah, I can see very distant movements of little dots of people struggling to go up there, I think. So that might be us in an hour, so let's get some energy. There's a campsite. I think it's really cool that the entrance to this hike and the national park is completely for free, and that you can camp here for free. I think that's awesome, and people are taking a lot of advantage of that, and fair play to them. It's a lot cheaper than staying in the hotels in El Chalten, as I've discovered. So if you do want to pack camping equipment or rent it, this would be a great option to camp in these woods at the base of Mount Fitz Roy, with only 3 kilometers or maybe 4 left until you get to the lakes. The only thing you have to do is you have to register with the authorities if you want to hike further than the lakes, which is as far as we're going today. If you want to go further, deeper into the national park, then you need to get permission. But all this so far completely for free. I'm coming out of that forest now. Look at this view. Okay, this is the business side of the hike. We've gone past all the bullshit signs that say dangerous, dangerous, which is a good thing because it scares people from coming up here who might not have the energy or the skill. I mean, it's pretty easy. It's just a little bit rocky and steep. But I'll let you know, it's probably going to get a lot worse. Oh. Okay, as you can imagine, this is quite brutal. The sun, the crowds, the people with the walking sticks, clink, clank, clink, clank. But this hill climb, it's not been that difficult. It's just kind of a buzzkill.
Aí aparece uma filmagem, o cachorro passando na rua, aí passa a moto, um monte de capacete.
I thought we were there, but there was a false summit. Came around the corner, and bosh. Not too far to go now. There's just no shade, and it's brutal. Don't have a hat and sunscreen, you're dead. Come on then. So, yeah, bit of a fail. I really enjoyed the hike itself, except for the climb. And the climb would have been okay. It would have been bearable if it wasn't for the crowd. crowds. Oh my God. You had to stand and wait for people so many times. And nothing wrong with that once. But I did it about 10 times, and then people are starting to get a little bit, and there's a bit of an RC atmosphere between the people coming down. And I get it now, because you've walked all the way up here and the lakes are frozen. The pictures I'd seen were beautiful, pristine lakes. God. Anyway, here's some advice. Definitely come here, definitely do this hike. It's free and this area is beautiful. Just learn from my mistake. Leave super early. Remember, the crowds that I've been walking past coming down, they would have set off at 6 o'clock in the morning. I think you should probably just go camping in the forest. Camp in the forest, or get up at 1 a.m., 2 a.m. just to get past all of the riffraff. And I include myself in the riffraff today. Or go really late in the afternoon, especially in the summer. I mean, it's taken me now, it's 2:30, so it took over 4 hours to get up here. I think you could get up and down in 6. You know, obviously it takes me a bit longer because I'm filming and I'm talking and I'm doing lots of things that slow me down. Plus I rest and drink water just like everybody else. Look, the mountain Fitz Roy is incredible, but I've never hiked with this many people before. Miserable bastard Paddy coming out. I'm not going to linger up here because there's no shade. I'm not even going to bother going down to the Instagram spot because I've taken nicer pictures on the way up. I think I'm just going to lick my wounds, put this down as a fun, interesting day out with a little bit of humour involved with all the crowds. I do see the funny side of it. I think it was quite the adventure. But yeah, I'm just going to crack on, get back down, because I just want to chill out and enjoy the rest of the afternoon down in the city. Now I can see why there's no rooms here. Oh my God. This hike is packed. I mean, I think 500 is an understatement. I think there might be 1,000 people. It's crazy. It's crazy. And I didn't really see anybody until I started doing the 3-kilometer hike part. And I don't really want to have to hike through the flatlands with a bunch of people. People seem to just spend 5-10 minutes up here. They take a picture, they rest their feet, and then they go, right, let's go. Was that Star Wars? Anyway, I'm delirious. 6:30. So 8 hours and 15 minutes it was in the end. My legs are a bit sore, but otherwise I'm fine. There's a few people been struggling. 20 kilometers is quite far. And there was a lot of people on the trail. Of all ages, sizes, and hiking experience levels.
The next day, I had to make my way back towards Chalten on the local bus, the same one that I'd gotten to the start of the trail the previous day. And then I transferred onto another bus, which took me across the border back into Chile. It took about 6 hours in total, and eventually I arrived in the town of Puerto Natales. And this is where I found a little hotel and a guest house, because this was the base for my next trek, which was going to be the infamous W trek in the absolutely beautiful national park of Torres del Paine.
Okay, good morning. It's the next day, it's 5:30 in the morning. I'm surprisingly quite awake and alert. Today, we're gonna begin a 3-day hike in Torres del Paine National Park, one of Patagonia's most famous, one of the most beautiful national parks, and there are 3 ways that I've seen to do this. There is a huge hike called the O hike, which can take about a week. Then there's the W trek, which can take anywhere between 3 and 5 days. or there is the option to stay in this town and do day trips, day hikes. The one I decided on is the middle ground. I decided on the W trek, and this was not cheap. So I'll leave all of the information of the company that I used in the description, but it cost me $890 for a 3-day hike. And it includes my transport to the park and back, which is why I have to wake up early because it leaves at 7 in the morning. It includes 2 nights accommodation, and I think it includes 1 or 2 breakfasts. I can't remember. So basically, accommodation, transport, and a bit of food. Let's get cracking. Okay, we are here, and I got to the welcome center. They gave me my welcome kit. It's quite nice, actually. I get to keep it as well. A nice water bottle, like a proper metal one, a towel, which is good, and a map. Now we're in the national park. We're in Torres del Paine, and we're here for the next 3 days. And I thought that I would have to hike maybe 10-15 kilometers today to get to my refugio, which is the name they give for the hotels or the hostels. Anyway, I don't have to walk 15 kilometers. I have to walk 150 meters because it's right in front of me. So I'm gonna go see what that's about, see if I can check in, and then go on a big hike somewhere. Okay, this is not what I expected. I'll be honest with you. So I've gone in there, a proper little hostel, you know, with a reception. They've got a bar with beer on tap and cocktails and happy hour. There's a fireplace. I think that is heating the water for the hostel. And I won't be able to check in until 2:30. So she said, go do your hike and then come back in the afternoon. Dinner's included, breakfast tomorrow's included, and they give me a packed lunch for tomorrow's hike. I don't know why. I just didn't expect it to be so professional or so legit. I really thought I was going to be out here in the wilderness. And, you know, to be fair, I am about to go on an 8-hour, 20-kilometer hike up there, up into the gorgeous mountains. And there's a map inside, and the big red outline, that is called the O trek. That goes all the way around the park. We're doing the W trek. So all I want to do is I just want to get into the countryside. I want to hear the bird songs. I want to feel the wind on my face. And if I get cold, I've got my jacket. If it rains, I've got my rain jacket. If it gets cold, I've got a hat and gloves. But if it gets hot, I've also got shorts. So I really don't know what to expect. I just want to get out and on the trail. About an hour in, and I've climbed my first foothill. Just uphill, quite difficult. And we've got our first lovely view down into the valley. Oh, there's an eagle. Anyway, we've got a little bit of flat to enjoy, and then we do another big steep climb. So let's just enjoy the flat for a bit. This is what the trail's like. It's quite gravelly. There's lots of big stones. So it's a little bit difficult, especially when you're going up, but this flat section here, very straightforward. This is really nice. This is gorgeous. This is what I wanted. Yes, there's a lot of people on the trail, but we're all spread apart. And this valley is just to die for. Look at it.
Okay, Patagonia just keeps on surprising me. So there's a huge campsite up here. The tents, to be fair, look incredible. They're actually on a little platform, and then they're underneath all these trees, and you've got the river right next to you. And then there's a pub. Sells beer on tap. We do burgers and quesadillas from 2 o'clock till 5. You can buy Wi-Fi. There's people in there having beers already. I think I would have preferred to stay here, but when I booked with the company all those months ago, you don't get to choose where you stay. They kind of just put you where there's room and according to your preference. But I did think I clicked on non-camping. I think I wanted to have a dorm room or a private room if possible. So that's probably why they didn't put me here. So that's my mistake. Because this is, you know, way more in touch with nature. And you've got a pub. I love these forest sections of any hike. Not only do you get the shade, but it breaks from the wind. You can really hear the birds. Honestly, my dream is to get some land one day somewhere in the forest, somewhere like this, and just build a little log cabin, a little house, a little barn, a little stone cottage. 2-bedroom, fireplace, nice rugs on the carpet, nice comfy sofa, nice kitchen table, game of Monopoly on the desk. Let me know what your dream is, whether it's travel related or just life goals. Let me know in the comments. I'd love to hear. How gorgeous is this? Glacial Patagonian river. So you know it's good. And this forest is gorgeous. My favorite thing about this forest, and if you've been following this channel for a while, you'll know, for some reason I'm obsessed with moss, especially when it grows on the sides of trees and the sun hits it like this. Isn't that just gorgeous? I've kind of come to accept my fate, because I just thought in my mind, I thought I would pretty much have Patagonia to myself. It's Thanksgiving, so I thought all the Americans would be in America, but they're not, they're here. And every hiker and his dog seems to be in Patagonia this time of year. But that's okay. We're just gonna embrace the crowds and embrace meeting people. And instead of having solitudal, lonely walks, hopefully we'll make friends, have a few beers, and enjoy the nature and the people who are enjoying it with me. Because just look at this place. Okay, this hike has become interesting now, because long gone are the easy trails through the beautiful forests. We are now scrambling over a huge rocky section that goes up and up and up, because just looking up it looks like it's going to be a challenge even for me. I mean, I'm not exactly Hercules, but this is going to be tricky. I'll try to share with you some of the best parts and the most tricky parts, but we're going to be scrambling, which is quite fun. This boulder section is difficult. My hips, but it's fun. Meet some people from Seattle and a big group of people from Sheffield. Wow, this is really nice. And you know, there's people here, it's busy. But this is 10 times nicer than Fitz Roy in Argentina, where by the time I made it to the summit and to look upon the mountain, I just thought it was rubbish because there was just thousands of people making loads of racket. But here, people are being quiet. People are taking nice pictures. The lake is not frozen. It's not windy. I am completely and utterly blown away. Buenos dias, good morning. And it's a great morning. I'm feeling so happy. The only downside is the weather is shocking. Like, it is really bad. You can see the mountain that we went up yesterday is just covered in rain, and it's drizzling as I speak, and it's a lot colder, and the weather, I think, is going to get worse today and tomorrow apparently, so that's a shame. The first part of today's hike, we actually cover where we went yesterday. Instead of turning right to head up into the rain and up into the mountains, we're going to continue straight. But because of the rain, you can see everybody's very fluorescent colored backpack cover, and you can see them snaking up and going up into the valley and into the forest. And the rain is lashing down. But luckily the mountain seems to be holding most of the rain. Today the weather's rubbish, but that doesn't really matter for me because I'm not going to an epic viewpoint. We've just got a 16-kilometer hike, relatively flat, around the lake to Frances, which is where I'm camping or staying tonight. But yeah, I just feel for them. By two. This really is Disneyland for hikers. Look at that. Isn't that absolutely gorgeous? That beautiful blue lake, the rolling green and black mountains. I've never seen mountains move and fold and curve like that. And we have the fire bush every so often, just igniting a little bit of color into the trail. The wind has gone. I think we're sheltered at the moment. And there's lots of hikers taking pictures. This is gorgeous. This is definitely really, really, really enjoyable regardless of the weather. And completely quiet, nowhere near as busy as yesterday. It's amazing the difference it makes to your hiking experience when it's relatively just you. I don't know why. I think we all think of hiking as a solitary, quiet experience, and the crowds take that element away, I suppose. So day two, even though the weather's kind of crappy, I'm enjoying it even more than yesterday. Look at these views. This is gorgeous, absolutely beautiful. Bumped into my buddies that I met last night. Hey. Not him, these guys. Oh, this is a beautiful part of the hike. I think the weather has just completely improved. Look at this.
looks like we have to climb another foothill up here and over the other side, and I can see rain again, and the rain is coming. You know, I thought today was going to be flat, but it's been far from flat. We just go up and up and up and over and over and over. Little hill after little hill after little hill. I think I've probably done about 10 or 12 already. As you're walking along the lake, it's so stunning, and it changes, and you have the weather. It just kind of, it doesn't make it soul destroying, but it doesn't seem to ever want to end. But somewhere near the end of that lake is my accommodation for tonight. And we get to walk across this beautiful granite surface with this epic view. There are about 5 or 6 huge birds flying past me, and they're all just flying around. I'm gonna hang back here because I can see a huge amount of rain in the valley in front of me. So I just want to stand and wait and hope that another one flies right by, so you guys can get a feeling of how beautiful and how big this bird really is. Okay, so talk about timing. I came around the corner after looking at those beautiful birds, and then the rain just started to get really bad. And as I turned that corner, a refugio, complete with beer, warm food. This is not where I'm staying. This is where my friends are staying. So I'm just gonna stay here maybe an hour, maybe 2 hours, and just wait for this storm to blow over. This is a rain jacket, but it's not really that waterproof anymore because I've had this a few years. So I don't want to do the last 3 kilometers in the pissing rain. So I'm just going to hopefully wait it out and then get back on the trail. Okay, the weather window has appeared, and it was getting very comfortable in that refugio. Made some friends, had a couple of beers, and I could quite happily sit there for a few hours sipping a few cans. But we've got 3 kilometers and 2 hours left to get to Camp Française, which is where I'm staying. As you can see, the sun's threatening to break through, but as today has proven, it goes from hot to cold to wet every few hours. So I don't want to risk it. I just want to get there dry if possible. So 2 hours, a few more hills, a few more kilometers, and we'll be there. Look, we're right next to the water now, listen. Beautiful, peaceful, lovely. How pretty is this? The trail now goes along this beach, this pebble stone beach. Day 2 has turned out to be nothing short of a joy. The way the water glistens that first layer of the black pebble rocks is extremely satisfying. It's just sun-kissed by that sun that wants to creep through the clouds today. This is the highlight of the hike for me. Good morning. Day 3, third day, final day here on the W Trek. Last night had a great dinner here at the Française Refugio, had a couple of beers, met some more great people, and then slept nice and cozy in our little dome, which was really warm because they have a little fireplace and protected us against the wind and the rain last night, and I slept fantastic. Just woke up, had a nice breakfast and coffee. And I'm just sort of looking at this map that's on my little packed lunch that they give you, trying to decide what to do today, because as you can see, we were in Central, and the first day we walked along and then up all the way up to the Torres del Paine viewpoint. Then yesterday we walked all the way from Central past Chernos, which is where I had that beer, and then the weather hit us, and then we walked all the way to Frances. That's where I stayed last night. Today I have to go down to Pane Grande by 6 o'clock to get a boat, and then get a bus back to town. So I've got the whole day to kill. So I'm thinking I might go up to Italiano, and then up to the French Glacier, and then back down to Italiano, and then down and along to the area where the Grande boat is. It's not technically going to be the full W. I think you need 4 days really of hiking to complete the W and get all the way up to the grey and then back down to the boat. You can see why it's called the W, right? Because of that black line, looks like a W. And then that big line that goes all the way around, that's the O hike. So that's the difference between the two. So yeah, I think that's the plan. So let's get cracking. This is the valley that I'm going up. I'm gonna go check out that glacier. I made it to the glacial lookout point, and it's beautiful. There's this huge wall of rock in this moody, misty cloud. There's a little glacier and then a big glacier down at the bottom. But I'm gonna call it here on the W part. There is another 2.5 kilometers to the British lookout point, but I've got to go. So it's been 5 kilometers to get here. I've got to go back 5 kilometers, and then I've got another 8 kilometers to get to the boat. So I'm just going to take it easy and make sure I get to the boat in time, make sure I have a place to stop for lunch, and just relax and enjoy the last little half a day. Still got 6 hours of hiking to go, so I think we'll call it here.
So yes, it had been an incredible hike. 3 days that I'll never forget, some of the most beautiful landscapes and experiences, and I also got to meet some really cool people and fellow travelers and fellow hikers, and it was just the highlight of my time in Patagonia. I still had a fair hike to go to the end point, but I made my way up and over towards the far end of the lake, where I caught the speedboat along with some other weary hikers. We were all a little bit cold, all a little bit wet, and all very tired by this point. But the speedboat took us back to the coaches, and the coaches took us back to Puerto Natales, and then that's where we just all kind of rested and had pasta and a few beers, and everyone sort of enjoyed each other's company. And a few days later, I found myself in Ushuaia. This is one of the most incredible places in Patagonia, as you can see. I was here for a few reasons. The first was to explore Ushuaia, the most southern city in the world. It's got some great hiking and some really interesting experiences that I wanted to try. And I was also here to board a Antarctica cruise. I was about to go on a 10-day expedition, but obviously it leaves from Ushuaia, so before we left for the incredible journey to Antarctica, we wanted to experience and get to know this beautiful city, as well as do some hiking and go on an incredible helicopter ride.
If you, like me, don't pack everything that you might need for a big trip to Antarctica, don't worry. This is a city, okay? And there's a big high street with lots of stores selling camping gear and stuff that you would need for colder weather, jackets, jumpers, hats, gloves, everything is here. There's even a place where you can rent much higher quality skiing trousers and skiing jackets, so you don't need to spend a fortune on gear. Like me, I packed a hoodie and a beanie. So I'm gonna go get some gloves, but it's all here. It's all here. Everything you would need is here. So don't worry. This is not a tiny little nothing town, which is what I thought it was gonna be. This is a vibrant, busy little city.
Hey.
It's like their French Riviera.
Just gonna get the classic shot of the cheers. There we go.
It takes about 15 minutes to order a drink in a hotel bar, so I was like, why don't we just go to the Irish pub?
Cheers, mate.
Cheers.
Mr. Paddy Doyle. Okay, as fun as that was to meet everybody, I gotta be responsible because I want to show you a little bit of Ushuaia tomorrow morning, and I think things are going to get out of hand in there tonight. The next morning we had the whole day pretty much to kill, as our expedition didn't start boarding until late in the afternoon. And as some of the group nursed their hangovers from the previous night, others had gotten up early and headed out on a day trip to explore either the national park or to go on a boat trip. For me, however, I had heard that leading from the back of the hotel was a gorgeous nature trail that led up into the mountains towards a glacier. And since I was about to spend 11 days at sea, I couldn't pass this opportunity to stretch my legs one last time. Morning! Welcome to the final day of being here at the bottom of the world in Ushuaia. And the hotel, the big hotel, it's packed full of all of the 200 and something people who are going on the cruise today. So the breakfast buffet is hectic. And I thought we'd go for a nice little walk, because right behind the hotel, as you can see behind me, there's a little road that snakes up through into the valley, and it's beautiful. So just gonna walk up here for an hour, see what I find. Everyone's in good spirits. Everyone's a little bit nervous about the idea of being put in a ship for 10 days, sailing to Antarctica. Certainly not guaranteed to be good weather or calm seas. The part of the ocean that we are navigating, it's called the Drake Passage, and it has two nicknames. First nickname is the Drake Lake, meaning it can be extremely calm and beautiful, and everyone can relax, sleep well, no seasickness. The other nickname is the Drake Shake, where, well, you can imagine. So we're hoping for the first to come to fruition. Anyway, let's enjoy this walk. Wow. This is... I've never seen anything like this. There's just a little trail on the side of the road. I mean, have you ever seen a forest like this? Look at this. Beautiful. I did ask at the hotel, I said, do you have bears, lions, wolves? They said no. So you can do a little bit of hiking through the forest without having to worry, because I have nothing to protect myself. So yeah, it had been a lovely few hours up in the mountains, and when I returned to the hotel, turns out Michael had made some plans for us too. After all, we still had the full day before our expedition, and if you've been watching this series, you know that Michael likes to take things to the next level.
Wow, I feel like James Bond. What's going on? Cheers, big ears.
Cheers.
Thank you, Michael. This is incredible. The champagne's a bit much. But it's terrifying, isn't it?
Which mountain is that one?
We're on a glacier, on a mountain. Oh, you got me, you bastard! Incredible. Okay, all good things have to come to an end. He gave us a very generous 10 minutes up here. Glass of champagne, and the snow is just to die for. But now it's time to go. Come on, Michael.
So that was our incredible short but sweet time in Ushuaia. The following morning I met up with a big group of travellers and friends, and we were gonna board the Antarctica cruise. If you'd like to watch that journey, then click here and you can watch the entire Antarctica documentary where I share the journey across the Drake Passage, our time in Antarctica, and all of the incredible adventures we had on that continent. Thanks for watching the Patagonia documentary. Check out the Antarctica one here now, and I'll see you soon.